Greetings, true believers, and welcome to another new episode of No Spoilers. Today's review is Turning Red. Unlike turning green like the Hulk, well, I'm red and I turn into something else too. Just not some cute little red panda is all. Say, Mr. Lee, I hear you write stories. I do, Ironhide. Well, have I got a story for you? I remember the time on Cybertron. While those two go discuss that, let's talk about the movie. Inside Out, the mental and emotional aspect of hitting puberty. Turning Red, the physical aspect of hitting puberty. If you haven't figured it out already, this is a metaphor for the joys of having a period. There's even a line from the main character's mother who says that the ancestors thought it was a blessing for the women to have the spirit of the red panda give them the ability to be able to turn into a red panda. And over time, as generations passed on, it became a curse. So, I mean, you can see it right there, okay? So, anyway, the story takes place in Canada. One of the reasons why I'm wearing the shirt. And there's no floppy heads and no beady little eyes, and they don't address each other as buddy or friend or guy in this. Blame Canada. Speaking of which, they actually don't pronounce certain words as they do in Canada, like a boot. But anyway, sidetrack, sorry. The main character has a tiger mom, and she's the perfect child. She's the perfect little girl. She makes good grades in school. She's very active in her community and in the family business, and she can basically do no wrong. Well, that all changes when she starts crushing over a boy at a local store, and when she wakes up the next morning, she sees red, but not the red that you're thinking about. It's actually, I've turned into a giant panda. Oh no, my life is over. You don't know me. You don't understand me. You just don't get it. And all of the awkwardness and over-exaggeration, overreacting with the hormones. Not the other word, hormones, as in fear. So, anyway, turns out there is a ritual that can be performed that can rid herself of the red panda, as is done for the women in the family over the past several years now. I'm sure a lot of females would like that, in all honesty, which, okay, I can get that. But there is a slight problem. She and her friends want to go to a concert of their favorite boy band. They raise money. Thing is, the concert takes place on the same night as the ritual. So, which will she decide? Life is full of tough choices, isn't it? So, that's basically the story without giving too much away. It does take some elements from other creations like Teen Wolf, The Incredible Hulk, or the anime/manga Ranma and a Half, or the anime/manga Dragon Ball. And also has a little element of, "Ayah! Listen to Uncle Jackie! It takes some things from Jackie Chan Adventures as well! Ayah!" So, that's normal. And nowadays, I mean, people are going to take things from other, or get influences from other creations. So, no big deal there. The problem with the story, in my honest opinion, is that it's about acceptance. And the reason why it's a problem with me is because that's what movies have been about for the past several years now, animated or otherwise. It's about acceptance. And I get it. Acceptance is a rites of passage for all of us. We all want to be accepted, whether it's by our family, our friends, or by our co-workers, by society, by our peers in general. And some of us seek it more, some of us don't. Some of us achieve it, some of us don't. But that's the main message that's behind all of this. And it's grown fairly tiresome now at this point. But I get it. And there isn't anything wrong with it. It's just being overused, overplayed lately now at this point. So, The real message that I took from this, in all honesty, was the message of pressure. New, 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 pressure, or something more recent. Pressure's like a tick, drip, drip that'll never stop. Whoa, everybody likes We Don't Talk About Bruno, but good song. But I thought Surface Pressure was better, in all honesty, my opinion. Sidetrack again, sorry. But that's what I got from it, because there's always this pressure, and it's very relatable in that sense of, you have a parent or parents that expect nothing less from you, that no matter what you do, it's never enough. No matter how much you do, is never good enough. So I think that's a more relatable message than the other. Well, but then again, at the same time, the two interlock, to be honest with you. So, but it's just become so tiresome now, and so bored. It's so used up, so stale. Let's just put it that way. It's so stale now at this point that I want something different. Pixar movies in the past have always been about the heart. Yes, it's a life journey, but it's always and a movie about movies about self-discovery, but it's also about the heart. I mean, think about it. Look at Monsters Inc. When Sully and Mike say goodbye to Boo. Wow, strong stuff. Inside Out, when the character sacrifices himself to become a forgotten memory in order for joy to escape. Strong stuff. Up, that movie, the beginning of the movie, I still cannot watch without crying, just because it's like it hits the heart and it keeps you there. None of the movies that have come out recently, they're decent stories and they're good stories and a good message, but they don't hit the heart. And not all of them did in the past anyway. I understand that. But still, I mean, it's nice to have a little something that says, here, get water in your eye and cry a little bit. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. But again, that's where I have an issue with it. The animation, perfect as always. Unfortunately, in my opinion as well, it's become stale. And because of that, because all of the companies have mastered it now, Illumination, DreamWorks, Disney, Pixar, Blue Sky, which is no more RIP, and they've all mastered it now, so it's become the standard, and now it's become stale. I'm not too excited for most animated movies or animated shows unless they push the boundaries now and come up with something different, like the Lego movie, or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or the Mitchells versus the Machines, or the two new movies that are coming out from DreamWorks, the Puss in Boots sequel and The Bad Guys, based off the children's book. So I'm wanting that next step now, the evolution to come now, basically, as far as story and as far as animation goes. One thing that I should mention is story is king. Okay, let's add to that. Story is king. And think of it like an iceberg, okay? The tip-top part of it that you see above water is the message. The huge part that's underneath the water is the story. That's what it's become nowadays. What we need to do, flip it upside down. And the large part above the water that we see above the water is the story. The small part that's underneath the water is the message. And the old guard understood that. They always, well, some of them usually said, if you're going to put a message in something, you better make sure it's a great story, and you better make sure it's very entertaining. And I think that's where part of the problem lies with this movie. It's okay, but the message rules over it so much now, and because it's been overused now. So let's get to the character design, because that's one complaint. As you can see, the bean mouth, the mouth that's shaped like a bean, that's part of the design style of what's known as the Cal Arts style. Look it up. Cal, C-A-L, Arts style. If you watch some shows over recent years, say like Adventure Time, Craig of the Creek, Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, or Star versus the Forces of Evil, you'll see that's what the Cal Art style basically is. So that's what it's been dubbed anyway. So again, judging from when this movie was probably, when this movie started production, it was probably the big thing at the time, but now since it's been released, that style has grown pretty stale. So that could be an issue for some people as well. Anyway, in all honesty, the movie in general, it's okay. It's cute. I mean, how can it not be cute? I mean, it has a giant furry panda, red panda in it. How can it not be cute? It's adorable. But at the same time, it is a teen tween movie, which a lot of people will like it. A lot of people may not like it. It may turn them off. It may not. Who knows? That's up to you. But it's just kind of there. It's going to be a movie that's going to be ultimately forgotten. And once the hype dies down, and especially after the DVD and Blu-ray comes out, it'll ultimately fall by the wayside. That's the disappointing part about it. It's just become another cookie cutter of its time, basically, and it's already worn out. It's going to wear its welcome out pretty quickly. If you want to watch it, if you want to see what the hype is all about and you want to watch it, go for it. If you have other things to do, or if you just don't care, or if you just want to take your time and wait for it, go for it. You're not going to miss too much, really. This is something that you can watch on TV, or something, if it's a slow day, you can watch it and be happy with it. Okay? I'm going to go old school with this, Siskel and Ebert style. Thumbs up, thumbs down. It's right there in the middle. Is it this? This is the greatest movie ever! No. Is it, this movie is pure trash? No. It's just right there. It just exists. It's just there. So, there you have it. Let's check on these two. Well, Lincoln Lubricants. So you mean to tell me that I don't have to watch this movie right away? That's what he said, Ironhide. Well, that's a good thing then, because Optimus is sending me on a mission. I'm gonna finally bust some deceptive chomps. I don't think that's a good idea, Ironhide. Well, don't worry about me, fellas. I may be slow, but I'm tough. I'll be back as soon as we kick Megatron's tail across the galaxy. That auto-fool thinks that he can withstand the might of Megatron? Such heroic nonsense. He'll be fine. Whoa. Well, take us out, Stan. That does it for the latest episode of No Spoilers. And remember, if it has mold growing on it, it's probably spoiled. Tune in next time for the next new episode of No Spoilers. Excelsior!